Welcome into this Sunday night edition of Hand Raised, guys. Chase Parham and Neal McCready getting started. The last few minutes in NFC Championship game on in front of us as been a pretty busy day, pretty busy weekend for Ole Miss recruiting. Pretty busy week. Staff complete finally. We'll talk about that. We'll talk a good bit of stuff tonight as we're here with you. Probably the length of a regular podcast, maybe a touch longer, but pretty much that is what you can expect. We'll pay some bills throughout. Appreciate Oxford Exxon, Oxford Crystal, Clark Ford Studios, obviously, and those people as we're getting started here tonight. We'll take your calls as well. We'll pour a drink and we'll hang out. We'll talk about whatever it is that you would like to talk about. Neal, you've been at it for a while today. You tired? How you feeling? What's up?
It's been a day.
It's been a day?
Been an interesting, long day.
6 a.m. What's what we're doing?
I got up at 5:30. I was at the inn at Ole Miss, I'm embarrassed to say, at 6:45.
Were you?
Yep. Didn't get kicked out until about 10:45. Talked to some recruits.
How many of the recruits talked to you?
All the recruits talked except for Clowney and Evans. Evans declined.
What did he say?
He just said, no, like that. And Clowney was going to talk to us, and then his person said, we're going to go upstairs. We'll come back down. He'll talk then, which you know how that ends. And shortly thereafter, we were evicted from the premises.
Were you?
We were asked,
were you nicely evicted?
Nicely. We were told that if we needed to use the restroom or if we'd like a cup of coffee, we could get it, but that we needed to go outside. We were not it was just two of us, me and David Johnson. We were not bothering anyone.
It's public property, isn't it?
I mean, I don't know. I wasn't gonna.
You weren't gonna. You weren't fighting that battle tonight, were you?
You know how I feel about that stalking anyway. I mean, I feel like enough of a creep. I'm not gonna fight when they tell me to leave. So we walked outside and quickly realized that we watched Clowney get into a car with some coaches and leave, and that was that.
So let's set the stage a little bit. We'll probably talk a little bit about the staff. That's done. But from a weekend standpoint, Henry Parrish, the running back out of the Miami area, has committed to Ole Miss. He was once committed to Pitt.
Yeah.
It's a guy that Kevin Smith felt pretty good about since arriving from Boca with Lane Kiffin. It feels like this has been one of the worst kept secrets in a while, but finally officially in the boat for the Rebels. What's the profile for Parrish?
He looks the part. Real nice kid. He told us he'd committed, and we agreed. He asked if we'd sit on it. He said he was going to announce it at 4 o'clock.
He said that this morning?
Yeah. Gave us quotes, which I was glad that I went ahead.
Very trusting sort there, wasn't he?
Yeah, and we honored it. Wasn't a big secret. Like everybody and their mother was putting in, what do they call it, crystal balls, and what is Rivals? What is theirs called?
The Future Cast, I believe, is that's correct.
Yeah.
The Fan Cast and the Future Cast.
Yeah.
Have you ever Future Casted?
Like one or two.
Have you really?
For fun. But no, I typically don't, because if you get one wrong, that's all you'll ever hear about for the rest of time. So I don't do that. I know Zach Berry's done some of that. By the way, Zach is available if we'd like to call him later.
I only want to talk to him if he's in Kroger.
I don't think he's in Kroger.
Is he not?
I don't think so. So, yeah, that was about it. He's a good-looking kid. If you watch his film, he's legit. He does his part. Everybody's talking about Zach Evans and whether Ole Miss gets Zach Evans or not. Parrish is probably a big deal. I've been told by some people with contact within the program that they might like Parrish even better than they like Evans. Kentrell Bullock talked to him. Really nice kid. Talked to Brady Ward, which made me feel old because I've known Brady's father before Brady was born. So talked to him, caught up with him. His dad, Brian, played at LSU back in the day. Who else did I talk to? Talked to Marcus Henderson from Memphis. Super nice kid, very polite. Liked him a lot. Feels like that's it. There was only like 6 dudes. And then there was the 2 grad transfers. 1 grad transfer, 1 transfer. They both committed to Ole Miss over the weekend, and they were already long gone by today.
Yeah, we talked about those two guys on Friday's show, and that happened pretty quickly after that. And Ole Miss, if nothing else, the kid from Temple definitely needed a tight end. The Rebels could use somebody at that position. Good-looking kid. Temple doesn't really throw to the tight end, so we have not much idea what that will look like.
Well, here's all you have to know about him. He was a kid that signed with Temple when Matt Rule was the coach there. He was transferring to Baylor when Matt Rule was the coach there. And then when Matt Rule left, he said, you know what, I'm going to pick another home, and he picked Ole Miss. So I like Matt Rule's evaluations of kids.
Mm-hmm.
Probably a good sign for Ole Miss.
That's probably fair.
Ole Miss needs a tight end badly, and he at least gives them a one-year Band-Aid. I would anticipate that he will be the starting tight end based on what I've been told. The kid from Georgia, Otis, is it Otis?
Yes.
He's got to sit a year unless he wins some sort of a grievance appeal sort of a thing.
I did make it to church this morning, 8:45 service.
Yeah, Laura said she saw you there.
She did. What are you drinking? What do you have?
It's Four Roses. I've got something for
you
when
have
the
a
Four
Sazerac
Roses
later.
is gone. Yeah, Otis Reese.
That's right.
Yeah, I've officially hit the point in the day where people are going to have to help me with names.
You've had a little too
Well,
many.
I wrote a lot. No. I hadn't that much to drink at all. I've just written a lot. I did 10 Thoughts today. I taped a Greatest Pod in the South with J.G. Tate, who's upset at me right now because the old MLB thing, and I tried to show him.
Is he really upset with you?
I don't know. He's probably irritated.
Are you upset, Jay?
He's probably irritated because people come after him.
If you want to call in, we can mediate.
People come after him over this Cam Newton thing, and forgive me for a minute, but holy shit, let it go. It's been 10 years. Who cares anymore? Damn. Who gives a damn?
As Cam said, it's an ongoing investigation.
I mean, who cares? Let's put it this way. Ole Miss people should be thankful that Auburn got Cam Newton. Because if Auburn didn't get him, he was going to go to Mississippi State, and those bastards might have won the championship. There's reality. And in the event that Auburn paid Cam Newton a lot of money, I'm not saying they did. I'm not saying they didn't. I don't know. If they did, it was worth it. And they hit it well enough to not get caught. So kudos to them. Think Cam Newton was worth it?
They ran it all through the dad, right?
I don't know how they did it, nor does it matter. Was it worth it?
Well, of course.
Yes.
But wasn't it like the dad in a church or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. It worked. They won a national title. He won a Heisman. Think how much money they made.
Well, I mean, we're still seeing it. Joe Burrow's season, when they talk about, hey, whose is the best, it keeps getting compared to Cam Newton in 2011. Those are the two quarterback seasons that keep getting pulled out.
And if LSU paid Joe Burrow, it was worth it. They'd pay 4 times whatever they paid. Actually, I don't think LSU had to pay Burrow. I think he had to sort of talk his way into it. You talk about a bargain. How many number 9 jerseys you think got sold in Tuscaloosa? I mean, at Baton Rouge.
Arbitrary number, though, of course.
Yeah, so come on.
I don't think Neil's pissed.
I'm not. I'm not. It's
I've seen pissed. It's
kinda,
pissed.
No, I'm kind of peopled out a little bit today. I'm good.
He's not rampaging.
I'm good. No. I'm all good. It's been a day. Long day. Did 10 Thoughts. I don't know if they're any good or not, but I wrote them.
You had 10 thoughts?
Not really. I had to search.
Had about 4 and filled it in some other places?
Yeah. Hey, we had a leftover Bree and Tyree video. There's one.
And Zach says he's drowning sorrows in Asian carbs. He is not going to Kroger tonight, so going to have to make do best we can. Just saying.
Titans look good for a little while, but the Chiefs, man. Whew.
Yeah, I missed that run. I saw the early Titans scores. I didn't turn it back on until it was 34 to whatever.
If there was any doubt as to who was the best player in the NFL, tonight erased that doubt.
49ers pretty legit, though.
They're legit. It could be a really fun Super Bowl.
Yeah, I've intentionally not watched much of this one today. Just can't.
I understand. I get it.
You had a kid's teriyaki order? Really? I mean, no judgment. That was not what I was expecting you to say.
What did I do?
No, Zach said he had a it's a side. Oh, you got a kid's teriyaki as a side item.
Oh,
That might be kind of strong, actually.
it's a thought.
I'm not a huge teriyaki marinade fan, but it's all right. It's fine.
To it, I had
Nothing.
No.
A toothpick and some water.
I went to LB's, and Greg Jones, as a birthday present from my birthday was a week ago, gave me a tomahawk ribeye.
A what?
A dry-aged tomahawk ribeye.
Tomahawk.
20 days.
Not tomahawk like most people. A tomahawk.
Whatever.
Tomahawk.
Whatever. The big long bone, man, phenomenal. It was one of the best things I've ever had.
Just got to get in a tournament.
Yeah, got to get in a tournament.
Tournament. Okay. That's a good piece of meat though. Seriously.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me. We live in Lafayette County. We're getting pronunciations.
Yeah, tomahawk. That's the new Pinot Noir that we have going on.
Yeah.
Did you have Pinot Noir with the tomahawk steak?
No, it had more of a Cabernet.
More of one, like it was half and half?
No, it was Cabernet. And it was a red blend, maybe. I got Archie to cover the basketball game for me last night.
You did?
We went to Edward Ashoff's memorial, and then we came back and grilled and drank. It was a good call.
Yeah, reading from my vest is not denim, thankfully. That'd be a strong look. I don't know that I could pull that one off. It'd be a strong look.
It's that puffy fabric.
Yeah. The denim would go great with Neil's cowboy shirt from back in the day. We could pair that. We could pair that thing together. Reading from the.
Pete. Actually, we had Conundrum last night.
About what?
Conundrum is the name of a red. It's like a red blend.
Okay.
It's really good.
Yeah, I'm seeing here, Lane is his own offensive coordinator. DJ Jerkin will be calling the defensive plays, and I think he will basically be left alone to call his own defensive plays.
Yes.
As he sees fit.
That's a safe assumption.
That is the way I understand that. Yes, Ole Miss did get 2 baseball commitments today. They were both 2023 kids. We're not talking about them.
Thank you.
2023. They are 15 years old. One of them is ranked number 1 in the state in Mississippi.
So they're freshmen. They're freshmen in high school right now.
Yes, I think that's
right.
No,
we're not doing that.
You want to talk about them?
We're done.
I think one of them was 194 nationally and something else, but yeah. If it was Arch Manning, we'd talk about it.
Yeah.
At his age.
But that's the extent of it.
There's one.
Yeah. One freshman.
I'm not going to remember even when DK committed, in 8th grade or 9th grade or wherever it was, and we were like, I guess.
Yeah, we still did the right thing.
Yeah. It's like maybe. Arch going to UVA. Be interesting.
Could be.
Didn't Eli have UVA on his list?
Uh-huh.
I think Virginia was on his list. Yeah, he's a sophomore, though. Big difference. Let's see.
I will say this. I think if Arch Manning were deciding tonight, I don't think Ole Miss is in the mix. There's a lot of time between now and then. So we'll see. A lot of water has to go underneath that bridge.
Yes, Neil's reporting that Arch Manning will not sign with Ole Miss.
Yeah,
that is what he's what he's doing.
Yeah, he's a high school freshman. It's gonna be all right.
Got time.
Got some time to work it out.
Unless you're a baseball commit, then you're late already. As we cover the other sports here before we get into calls in a minute, I'm basically just running through a segment before we take them.
Okay.
Basketball loses to LSU 0-4 in the league, 9-8 overall, and they play who next?
They go to Tennessee on Tuesday, and they go to Georgia on Saturday. They come home and play Auburn on January the 28th. Then they go to LSU. Then they come home to play South Carolina. And there's a very real chance that they will be 0-8 when the Gamecocks come to town, and I will be curious to see what the crowd is.
How did the cheerleaders do today? I know you've been retweeting them all weekend. How did the dance team finish up today? You don't know?
No, Caroline told me about it. I don't know that they competed in the overall thing today. I know that I think UNLV won the national championship.
So a different set of Rebels won?
Yes.
Okay.
There you go. I should have said the Rebels won.
Yeah.
I did watch. Caroline sent me all of Ole Miss's routines. I watched a lot of LSU routines. They're very good. Minnesota, their jazz team, no joke, their jazz team is incredible. Most phenomenal thing I've ever seen.
Sure.
They were like,
okay.
They were completely in sync. It was the damnedest thing I've ever seen. And the music was kind of weird, and it was bizarre. In all seriousness, I'm going to give some credit here. I never knew about this stuff until I had a kid who was so into it.
Yeah, Neil tells me he can actually pick out mistakes in these routines now.
The job that Rachel has done with the Rebelettes at Ole Miss is remarkable. Where she has taken that program, quite frankly, she may have taken that program too far from a personal standpoint.
Now it's going to take a little bit to keep her in the
It's probably ship has probably sailed. She's done a remarkable job. They work incredible hours. I think that all those kids came back on New Year's Day and grinded through basically 2 and 3 workouts a day.
Yes, we're talking about dance on hand raise guys tonight.
Yeah, they deserve a lot of credit though. They do. That's a lot. They
finished 4th. The live stream tells us.
Okay, it's an incredible time commitment.
So what's going on with Evans? We're going to get asked that 7,000 times. Let's go ahead and do it now. What's going on with Evans?
Well, he took his visit. So there's some things that if you guys want me to actually comment on, you're going to have to do, what's it called? The money thing?
The super chat.
The super chat. You're going to have to.
Oh.
You're going to have to punch a little super chat to get me to talk about some things.
So is there a number?
We'll see.
Really?
Yeah.
That's how we're going to do this?
That might be how we do this.
Okay.
The question
so you have a scoop is what you're telling me.
I mean, I know a lot of different things. Zachary Evans, his deal is this. He visited Ole Miss. He really liked it. I've seen some screenshots of things that he said. He liked it.
Okay.
I know there's a lot of talk about LSU. I can tell you from talking to someone very connected to the LSU program that as of this morning, LSU was not going to take Zach Evans.
Okay.
Alabama's not going to take Zach Evans. I'm pretty sure Florida is not going to take Zach Evans.
We're starting to get down the list a little bit.
Yes, he does not want to go to Texas A&M. He likes Jimbo, but he doesn't like A&M. Jimbo wants him, but there are elements of Texas A&M that do not. Okay?
Sure.
So it kind of comes down to Ole Miss, which I think will take him. I'm sure there's some caution at Ole Miss. And when I say this, I'm trying to say, how do I do this? I don't want to do anything that besmirches the kid or that hurts the kid. It's sometimes it's the people around the kid more than the kid.
Yeah, I haven't heard this little today.
You have?
Yep.
Yeah. I don't think it's the kid. I think it's Ed, you're the man.
Starting the bidding.
I don't think it's the kid. I think sometimes it's the people around the kid. And there's just a certain degree of uncomfort. Now, that being said, Ole Miss, I think, would take him. Ole Miss would love to take him. Ole Miss is blessed in that particular category. They've got Jerry and Ely. They have Snoop Connor. They have Henry Parrish.
Yep.
They have the ability to take a risk there, if you will. So he signed with Georgia. He'd never been to Georgia, and he kind of got caught up in the moment, according to people. Signed with Georgia and asked out. Kirby Smart let him out.
Okay.
Why? Well, there's some background stuff. He had a tumultuous fall. And he's got some ACT work to do. Kirby Smart let him out, sort of. I still think Georgia might want to take him back. I know the crazy guy on Twitter who's like, hey, breaking news, people are threatening my life and all that stuff. Have you seen that guy?
No, I missed this. What's going on?
God, you should find him. That dude is insane, needs real help.
What's his deal?
He is like a, quote, Georgia insider.
Okay.
And he's all about recruiting. And let's just say that he has never in all of his life seen a girl without her clothes on. Ever. No chance.
You feel very confident about that?
Confident. 100%. Never. And based on the way he's behaving during this, he never will. No chance. Bless his heart. God, help him. If anybody knows who we're talking about, look at Chase Pruitt. That is the real Chase from Miami. If anybody knows who I'm talking about, put a link up or something.
I still feel bad about that. I'm
so
sorry.
that Jay can see it. Let me so that Chase can see it.
That's probably enough to at least get you started. What else you got?
So I still think Georgia might take him back. Ole Miss was flying coaches to Houston today.
To see who?
To see his family. I'm ashamed to admit that I know this, was going to the movies with his girlfriend. So he's not at home this evening to talk to coaches. He has sort of blown off this recruiting process.
Real quick on this, signed financial papers does not actually keep the kid to the school. Mm-mm. It binds the school to the kid. There's a huge difference there.
Yes.
This was a big deal the first year that this was a thing, because I think it was C.J. Hampton, if I have this right.
That sounds right.
He signed them with damn near everybody. He signed papers with Ole Miss and Alabama and Florida State and all this stuff. It was Arkansas.
Uh-huh.
And in a lot of ways, it actually was very smart because it hooks the school to the kid. It makes it where that school is having to give us papers.
Very smart.
It's whatever. The kid, though, can do whatever he wants to do.
Yeah, it's actually very smart on the kid's part. So the fact that he has signed scholarship papers to not scholarship, but financial papers to Georgia means absolutely nothing.
Yeah, no, that just means Georgia sort of, kind of is locked to it.
Sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a way around it.
It's a promise ring. That's all this is.
Yeah. It's like you drop a girl in a fraternity in college or something. It doesn't mean much. You can get out of it. It's complicated, but you can get around it. I don't know what's going to happen. I think Ole Miss wants to make sure that he's serious. What I was saying was, I don't really think he's been serious about recruiting until now. I think he's realizing now that, this is real. I got to pick a school. I'm going to go to this place and enroll in a program, and this is going to get real. I think he likes Ole Miss for a lot of reasons. Number one, it's away from Texas. I think he wants to get away. Thank you, Cole.
Good to see you, Cole. What
movie? I don't know.
You have no answer?
Yeah. Frozen 2. A lot of white powder in that movie. Snow. A lot of snow.
Sorry.
So,
guys, I don't know.
Snow.
We hadn't even pulled the wine out yet.
I know. I don't know what he's gonna do. We'll see. I think they want to see if he's serious. I think he's got to figure out what he wants to do. He wants a fresh start. He views Lane Kiffin as a fresh start.
Okay.
He likes Lane Kiffin. He likes the whole idea. I think, and I don't want Ole Miss people to get offended by this, but I think he has viewed himself as this elite prospect who's going to go to an elite program. And Ole Miss hasn't been an elite program in the last few years. I think that's more than fair. And so he's got to overcome that in his head a little bit. So there's just kind of a lot of moving pieces, and he still has, 19 days?
February 5th, I believe, is the day.
So, yeah, he's got 19 days kind of to sort of sort through it, and he can take another visit or two if he wants, and I don't know what he wants to do. I don't think he really loves this whole recruiting process, so he could get it over with. But he's good enough that no one's going to just bail on him. Everyone's going to keep recruiting him. A&M's going to keep recruiting him because I think Jimbo's going to try to talk their compliance people into taking him.
So you think A&M's the biggest threat?
As of this moment, I think it's A&M, Georgia, and Ole Miss. As of this moment, I don't think LSU's involved. I don't care who's crystal balling him or whatnot to LSU. I don't think he has a spot at LSU right now.
And there at least has to be enough reason for Ole Miss to feel like they're in it to the point of going out there, because otherwise you wouldn't even go do it. right?
Yeah. Well, look, this coaching staff very clearly wants to get into Texas. Houston's a big part of Texas. They'd like to get into Houston. Yeah, but I think they want to know that he's serious. I think they want to check with his family. I think they want to, whoever signs this kid, let's get this out of the way. Whether it's Ole Miss or Georgia or Texas A&M or ULM or whoever, you got to make sure that you have your T's crossed and your I's dotted. Because people are going to ask questions. And he's got to make his ACT.
I'm doing a little moderating, so go ahead for a second.
Okay.
While I'm
You had
doing
to fix some stuff?
No, we're good.
Okay.
We're good.
So what else you got? That's really the latest on Zach Evans. I mean, we'll see. I don't know. They're in it. It's not done, and they're not out of it. They're in it. Big time. But it's going to be, for those of you who like recruiting drama, I think there will be some recruiting drama as it pertains to Zachary Evans. In large part because I don't think he gets it. I don't think he understands how big of a deal it is to a lot of people. What you got?
I was finishing that. Last thing, staff would be the last thing. Roach obviously hanging around, got a couple big titles. Believe the associate head coach title as well as recruiting coordinator.
Yeah, I'm
right?
told that Freddie Roach's decision was as much financial as anything, that Ole Miss really stepped to the plate.
Really?
To keep him, and that in the end, going to the New York Giants would have been a pay cut. Lane Kiffin made him a priority. He's got a hell of a staff put together. I think he wanted Rod Woodson, but when it became obvious that Woodson was kind of indecisive, he went ahead and pulled the trigger on Terrell Buckley. Real good coach. Kept Derek Nix. Derek has a lot of Mississippi ties. Buckley has a lot of ties from recruiting at Mississippi State. I saw DJ Durkin today. Did not speak to him, but saw him. Saw Partridge. Joe John Finley, who's not as big in person as he looks on this picture.
He does look very large in his picture.
In his picture, you think this guy's going to be like Paul Bunyan.
Yeah, not so much.
Well, he's a big put-together guy, but he's not that big. It's a really good staff. When you look at it and you talk to people around the country, and I kind of asked some people, hey, is this staff as good as it looks like to me on paper? And they all said, yeah, it's a really strong staff. A lot of recruiting prowess on that staff.
Clowney, last thing before we go to calls in a minute.
The rumor is that he is privately committed. Some people have gone so strong as to say that he'll be in classes on Tuesday. I can't confirm any of that. He was going to talk to us, and then, as I said earlier, he was asked not to, and then he never came back down to talk to us. I don't know what that's all about. Sometimes I think people take this way too seriously. We were going to interview him for about 60 seconds. We were not grilling anybody. Both of us were cold, and we were ready to go home. So I don't know. We'll see.
That was about it.
My guess is it's Ole Miss. I'll say this about Clowney, though. From what I saw today, he's going to have to hop in a weight room for a year. He doesn't look like a guy physically, and maybe I'm underestimating him just on physical prowess. He doesn't look like a guy who's going to step in day one and contribute.
Yes, Chase. That donation allows Amory numbers to get a little preference tonight. Yeah, if I recognize one, we'll try to pick that up out of the line there. Are we hearing ourselves talk? Okay.
Is it working?
Yeah. Yeah, extra bonus points if you're in Walmart when you call. But either way, we'll do our best to pick you up there. Give me a couple seconds to get this thing set up. I heard a cork open there, McCready.
This is that Sazerac rye that our friend got us.
Oh, that's right.
Remember that?
Yeah.
I had the...
It's a good mix. I'm not typically... I've actually got rye tonight, too. We're doing 2 ryes tonight. not usually what I do, but I don't know. I saw it and hadn't had a lot of it out of that and went, okay, sure.
I had the High West rye the other night. Have you ever had it?
There's several, but yeah, it's okay. All
It
of them are
was
somewhat
good.
okay. Yeah,
It's good.
Had the Pirates one the other night.
Pirates?
Pirates something.
Mike Leach?
Yeah, it's his. Not really, but yeah, it's Pirates something. I forget. It's a High West. It's pretty good. All right. I think lines are open, or at least they should be in a second. Caller, hold on 1 second. Get you in. Who we got tonight?
Hey, Chase, Major here. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing good. Neil, how are you?
Major, I'm lovely, thank you. How are you?
Good. I really don't have much to say. I hope you're all well. Happy New Year. Had a great experience with Blue Delta Jeans this weekend, so those are some cool cats. My question, you mentioned, Neil, you were drinking Sazerac. Is that the Sazerac 18 or the Baby Saz?
It just says Sazerac rye, straight rye whiskey, 90 proof.
Okay. There's a real good one out there that's the 18 as part of the BTAC. That's what I was calling it.
Yeah, no, he is not. He did not grab any antique for the show. It's it's the lesser version, but it's all right. It's like I said, it's typically a cocktail mix, but it's all right. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I understand. Y'all have fun tonight. Appreciate what y'all do.
Absolutely, Major. Have a good night.
Talk to you soon.
Yeah,
Hello.
1 second.
What's going on, caller? Who's this? What's up, Will?
Student, but I'm a lifelong Ole Miss fan. Been going to the games so I can breathe. I'm just wondering, I don't think it's too out there. I'm just wondering if we could get to 8 wins. I'm feeling like we really could if we really put it together with all these recruits. But I don't know. What you thinking?
It's so hard to say because there's no way to really know exactly what it is that we're looking at. I mean, who's the quarterback? What does the offense look like?
On paper, 8 feels like one too many when you're even trying to kind of throw something out there that's somewhat predictable. Because there's 6 that make a lot of sense. Now you got to win all those, whether it's coin flips or games you should win. And then you go, okay, you find one more, and you go, okay. When you got to find 2 more is where I have a little bit of a hard time.
Yeah, I mean, what does Baylor look like? They, like Ole Miss, will be game 1 with a new coach, new coaching staff. LSU's lost a lot off this championship season, yet it's in Baton Rouge, and they do have a ton of talent on their team, and I don't know what their quarterback situation is going to be. I guess I can't believe I'm saying this, but it does feel like that game is somewhat in play.
That's what I was thinking.
When I look at it, there are 2 games that I look at and go, nope, not happening, and that's Alabama and Florida. Those 2 programs feel like they're just ahead of Ole Miss right now.
Dude, I'm beat Florida, honestly. I don't trust Dan Mullen. He's very spotty with his coaching. So he was at Mississippi State. I don't trust it.
What do you base that on? He just went 10-2 in year 2 at Florida, 11-2 in year 2 at Florida. The only 2 teams he lost to were a national championship team and a team that won the Sugar Bowl. I mean, what do you base that on?
I just base it off Dan Mullen. For one, I don't like him at all.
I mean, I respect that. I do. Hey, Cole, yeah, we probably would be.
I think Florida wins the East next year.
I do too.
I think Florida finishes ahead of Georgia. I think they win the East next year.
I think they might win 9 games, maybe.
Maybe. I think Florida's got a chance to be a contender next year. But my point was, I think Ole Miss. I don't know what The next toughest game, believe it or not, I think is at A&M. I think Auburn at home and Baylor on a neutral site are probably winnable games.
Mm-hmm.
Not certain wins by any stretch. You know, and then it's you can't. What you were saying is right, Chase. You can't afford a slip up in one of the games that you're supposed to
Frankly,
win.
anywhere.
Yeah. You've got to win at Arkansas. You've got to beat Mississippi State at home.
Vanderbilt and the 3 non-cons that aren't Baylor.
Yeah, yeah. And then if you do that, you're going to a bowl of some sort, and you move on from there.
Yeah. I mean, I'd be cool with the Liberty Bowl. I mean, I went to the Cotton Bowl this year, and I went to the Sugar Bowl as well when Ole Miss went. And, dude, I'm telling you, man, that Cotton Bowl is this is weird. I don't know. I just want to go back to a bowl game. I'm sick of even just cheering for Memphis. It sucks. Can't stand it.
I do think they're going to find a bowl, so we'll. I think we get that at least. But appreciate the call. Have a good night. Yeah.
What are we going to do about Houston? Are we going to try to do a show in Houston?
I mean, I saw we were asked.
We have been invited to speak in Houston. I need to give them some sort of an answer. We need a plan. We want to try to do a show in Houston.
Would people show up
somewhere?
in Houston to watch us?
I think so.
Listen to us, whatever we're doing?
I think so.
I mean, whatever. It's fine. Easy. We need to get in more of our markets. I mean,
yeah,
whatever.
Houston's a market.
Houston's a market. It's fine. Let's see.
Have you had the Breckenridge?
Yeah, it's good. Yeah,
I
Breckenridge
like
is good.
it.
Yeah.
I like it a lot.
It's all pretty good. There's very few that's just like, oh, that sucks. I mean, you know,
A couple, but yeah.
there are. Now, there are a ton I wouldn't necessarily buy, and I wouldn't pay their price tags for them, but
Yeah.
I can find something okay in most of them. Yeah, we have no problem going to Houston and doing that.
Houston's
Fine with that.
close to Parham.
Sweet potato capital of the world. All right, sorry. Let's grab calls. I'm
That's my fault. I distracted.
do what?
I distracted.
Well, hold on 1 second, caller.
Who we have, caller? What's your name?
This is Chase.
Hey, Chase. What's up, man? What's happening?
Not a whole lot. Look, I had a question. Of course, I listen to y'all's show all the time. I know, Neal, you really emphasize on just going out and getting the best players. But my main question is, I've seen a lot of guys. I know we're hoping for Clowney to be committed. Don't know where we stand with McKinley Jackson. But, I mean, don't you think there's some sort of worry about the defensive linemen? I mean, because we're needing some serious help at that position, and I'm curious to see what they try to do from here, who they're going to go after, if there is somebody that we haven't heard yet that may be a possibility.
Oh, there's certainly somebody that you haven't heard yet that's a possibility, because I haven't heard it either. And they're bringing in, according to people close to the program, they're bringing in 4 to 5 people this weekend, and I know of one. I think McKinley Jackson's certainly a possibility. If Freddie Roach stayed on the staff, that was his tie. Listen, the next 2 weeks are going to be kind of wild. I mean, they're scrambling a little. So are most staffs. And here's the thing: there's all the kids who are uncommitted, who didn't sign in December. They've got all sorts of programs coming after them. So the late signing period has turned into sort of organized chaos.
Yeah. I just, I mean, I agree 100%. I mean, I'm just curious, because like I say, I am more than happy to have all these skill players that we've been getting in. We got a tight end out of the graduate transfer, and I'm sure that's a possibility as well, as getting a graduate transfer defensive tackle. But that seems to be the only glaring spot that really, really needs some immediate attention.
Ever seen a worse trophy other than the Magnolia Bowl trophy? Have you ever seen a worse trophy than the NFC trophy?
What's it look like?
Look at it. It's awful.
Well, I can't see it.
They won the NFC Championship, and they get this thing that looks like a Christmas ornament. Look at that thing. It's awful. It has no substance to it at all.
Sorry, Chase, we got distracted
Yeah,
there.
I mean, this. I'm a big trophy person, and that's an awful trophy. Look at it. It's hollow.
Yeah, it's an empty football, as Doors Rule says on the internet.
Yeah. It's terrible. No, I look. It's a transition class, and transition classes just have to get what they get. You have to get the best players you can get and then figure it out from there. I don't think they're through with the grad transfer market. They'd love to get McKinley Jackson. There's no question about that. Is it too late? I don't know. The truth is we're all sort of on this ride together for the next 19 days, and I don't really know how it's going to end. I'm not – and to make you feel better, I don't think they know how it's going to end. I think it's just sort of a wild scramble, and then on February the 5th, sometime that afternoon, they're going to transition fully to 2021, and that won't be a wild scramble. That will be a far more organized deal. G210 Reb asked about any updates with Ruggs returning, and the answer is no. I've not heard anything.
I think I may have lost you. I appreciate calling in, and obviously everything on the super chat as well. So good.
Is that John? Is that Lynch?
Yeah.
He was a hell of a player back in the day.
Turn your device down, please. Give me 1 second. Well, I saw they won. That's all I got.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I think so. That's it.
I got a question though. Do you want a really good gymnastics story?
Yeah, I always wanted a good Jim Mashik story. And
Did he say gymnastic or gymnastics?
they said Jim Mashik.
Gymnastic.
Oh, Jim Mashik. Yeah.
Gymnastic.
Yeah, sure.
All right, so it's PG rated. That's a good thing.
Okay.
We all know gymnastics.
Which is really hard to do with Jim, but sure.
That is very true. So in 1998, I had to go cover the LSU Mississippi State game in Baton Rouge, which was, Jackie Sherrill's last year. So after the beatdown that LSU put on Mississippi State, Jim Mashik, myself, and another writer went to just Captain Anthony's downtown, whatever it was, a really nice seafood restaurant, and it was packed. And I mean packed to the brim. Everybody wearing purple and gold because LSU won like 216-3. I think they're still scoring on that team. But anyway, we get there, and Mashik walks up, gets the lady at the desk, gives her his name. She's like, "Give me an hour wait." So we go over to the bar. We start ordering hors d'oeuvres and oysters and shrimp and whatever else. Have, of course, a few cocktails, which we've all been having tonight. And then after about an hour, the speaker system comes on and goes, "Sherrill, party of 3, Jackie Sherrill, party of 3. And Jim Mashik just goes, "That's us. Let's go to our table, boys." And we walked through that place with a standing ovation.
You got a standing ovation for being Jackie Sherrill?
Yes, because he got his ass kicked in Baton Rouge.
That happened pretty often with State. They lost like 20 years in a row over there or something like that.
Well, that's true, but the fact that anybody had the balls to put Jackie Sherrill on the credenza, after they got beat that bad and show up at a Baton Rouge restaurant, only Jim Mashik will do that.
Jim appears to be back hanging around. He's on Facebook, I see sometimes when I get on.
Oh,
so
is that right?
Yeah, Jim's on Facebook. So interesting, always good stuff.
He's bowling around Kentucky. That's all I know.
Yeah. So, appreciate the call, as always. I'm bad about restaurants of wanting to give a different name a lot of times because nobody can ever pronounce Parham.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's Parham, and it drives me insane. It grates on me. So, yeah, John Doe, Jim Smith, something like that. Like, it always, yeah. I'm worried about drowning. Touche. That's actually kind of funny. Actually give you some credit there. All right, who we got, caller?
Hey, Neil and Chase, it's Bubba. How y'all doing?
What's up, Bubba?
You're late. What's up?
Well, you know, I've been a little under the weather.
No excuses.
Oh, really? You okay?
Well, yeah, I had to go to the doctor 2 days ago, but I'll be all right.
All right, good. Glad you're gonna be okay.
So, yep, just want to wish y'all a happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
You know, happy birthday, Neil.
Thank
on
you.
the right side of 50, as we say.
Yeah.
Anyway, I got just about 3 questions. First of all, how happy are you that Pirates down in Starkville? And how you think he'll actually win down there at State? And
I'm glad he's there.
I'll
take him one at a time. I'm glad he's there. I think it's good for the rivalry. I think it's good for the league. I think it's a good story. He's always wanted to coach in the SEC, and here he is. Do I think he's going to win? I think he's going to win at a level that is somewhat commiserate with the level that he won at Texas Tech and Washington State. Although this league is far more difficult, and getting past about 7-5 there feels like it's going to be a real challenge.
All right. How you think Lane's can close on this recruiting class? And how do y'all think he closed on the staff?
I think he did really well with his coaching staff, and this recruiting class, I think he's going to close about as well as anybody could. It's still going to look like a transition class, in my opinion. I think they're going to utilize the grad transfer market in a really strong way, and then I think the 2021 class will be the one that we will be talking about a lot.
All righty. Well, y'all have a good night. I appreciate y'all taking my call. And you're on the hot streak, Neil. You can be a rich man pretty soon.
Thanks, Bubba.
Appreciate it, Bubba.
I hope you're right. From your mouth to God's ears.
I mean, if you start peddling information on the Super Chat every week, it's the only way to get it.
I mean, there's one way to get the info.
Who's on the line?
Hey, it's Daniel.
Daniel, how are you?
Hanging in there. How are y'all?
Oh, we're lovely.
We're making it.
Had a couple questions mainly for Neil. Wanting to see really what was going on with the smoke around Cavante Ruggs, and if maybe Terrell Buckley had any coattails at this point.
Yeah, I just talked about Ruggs a minute ago. I really don't know. And then Buckley is, contrary to what the Mississippi State people say, was a very effective recruiter. I think he, along with Derek Nix, give Ole Miss a real strong presence in Mississippi. And especially when you consider the fact that I don't think Ole Miss is going to get hung up on the whole Mississippi thing. That's not a knock on the state of Mississippi. I just don't think they're going to take kids from Mississippi because they're from Mississippi. I think they'll only take kids from Mississippi if they think they can play. I think Lane Kiffin is determined to recruit nationally, and whether that works or not remains to be seen, but I think that very obviously is the path that he wants to take, and so I thought the Buckley hire was a good one. Is he gone?
No, I'm still here.
There you are. Okay.
No, great answers. What do you think about Morrell coming in next year?
Boy, somebody better step in. I mean, right now they're Bree and Tyree and a bunch of dudes, and Bree and Tyree runs out of eligibility at the end of the season. They've got to figure it out. They've lost 3 SEC games with the lead in the second half. They could easily be 3-1, but they're not. They're 0-4, and this season's about to get challenging if they can't reverse it really quickly. And we're going to find out a whole lot about a lot of people's character. Let's put it that way. We're gonna learn a lot about a lot of people here in the next few weeks.
Well, thanks for taking the call, guys.
Yep.
Enjoy the ride.
Absolutely. Thanks, Neil. Who we got?
Hey, yes. I just had a quick question with the the current staff, and want to get y'all's perspective on compliance.
Okay.
How do you guys think that this current staff will handle compliance moving forward? Obviously, with the recruits that we're looking at and the talent. So that's really my question, is just compliance.
Yeah. Turn your device down. How will this staff look at compliance? I think this staff will look at compliance with a little bit of a wary eye. I'm more curious to see how compliance looks at this current staff.
The other way around.
Yeah. I want to flip it.
It does not feel like a situation from 3 or 4 years ago, though. It feels a little more, at least, aware of how things work at this point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because look, there was some times back before that, I mean, a lot of chances to just look the other way, and there was problems everywhere. I mean, compliance directors making sure a kid doesn't enter a restaurant on a day that he didn't get his per diem or something potentially is a problem and something you can figure out somewhere without making an issue.
Yeah.
Just saying. One kid wants to give another kid his tickets for the day. Let's just figure the way out to make this work. In some past years, there was a lot of times at Ole Miss when that whole button of, hey, let's just make this manageable was never really a thing.
Yeah.
Very, very hard line.
Matt Ball's gone. Let's put it that way.
He's at Auburn. Bet he and Bruce get along real well.
Can you imagine?
Because isn't it basketball he's over? I think he's the compliance guy for basketball.
No shit?
Yeah, no shit.
Oh, wow. Bruce Pearl's like, shoe fly.
You don't think he listens?
I think Matt Ball is sort of like that mosquito that you can't find the house fly that you can't find the fly swatter. Just sort of in the way, but it's not hurting anything.
That episode of Breaking Bad?
Yeah.
No, it's better than it used to be. That's a good way to put it. Let's go there with it.
Cool. Well, I also think it's great. We got some kids in the loop that have some academic issues. That's got to be good luck. Hopefully going after some talent now. So.
Right. Well,
anyway, thank you guys.
They're definitely
Absolutely.
recruiting talent. Thank you for the call.
Yeah, I'm reading it here. It says job responsibilities. Responsible for compliance oversight of men's basketball, women's basketball, baseball, and soccer.
Yeah.
So he and Bruce.
Yeah. I bet that's fascinating.
Who we got on the line?
This is Chance.
How are you?
I'm doing good. How you doing tonight, guys?
Doing great.
Look, I was just calling. Have we heard anything about Quincy Roach from Temple, their sack leader that entered the transfer portal? Because I know we could use some help on the defensive line.
I have not.
All right. I was just wanting to see who all these. I know there's 10 guys at the transfer portal. I'm looking at those pretty hard.
They've gotten the two. I know there's a DB from Florida Atlantic that they're in on. And there's probably others, but I don't know the specifics, and I have not heard Roach's name.
All right.
Which does not mean that he's
Thanks for the
that
call.
does not mean that he's not the guy. It just means that I haven't heard it.
Out of practice a little bit with these. I'm having a hard time getting to the buttons a little bit.
It's been a while.
Turn your device down, please. There you go. Yes? What's up?
Hey, how are you?
Good. Who's this?
Hey, this is Jack in Nashville. Hey, I was just calling. Have y'all heard anything about Emmanuel Forbes? I've been hearing some rumblings. He's trying to get out of his NOI there at State.
I've heard some rumblings. Nothing that I put a lot of credence into yet.
Is there anyone else on that signing class that we should be aware of, or?
I don't know because it's a new staff, and so I don't know how they evaluated those guys. I would think Forbes is close to the only one. I mean,
All right. What you cook tonight, Neil?
I grilled a pork chop, and Laura made this broccolini with what's the name of that cheese? It's really delicious. It's a delicious
That narrowed
dish.
it down.
I could
Brie?
No, it's not brie. It's
That'd be weird on broccolini.
Burrata. It's fantastic.
Okay.
Really good. With
That's what's on that pizza at St. Leo. It's so good. The burrata and sopressata.
Yeah, that's delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right. Well, I
wish.
sure do appreciate y'all.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Old Haas says he wishes that Mars would call in. I wish that Mars would call in too, because I actually have.
You have a little beef with Mars right now.
Well, I have some questions for Tom Mars because he keeps telling me that I've done something that I have not done.
He believes you've done it,
And
or at least he's been told you did it.
if we get to the legal portion of this, where I'm put under oath, I'm going to have to honestly say that that's not true. I have not had the conversation that he is alleging that I've had.
He was very accusatory early on. Then he kind of backed off a little bit. He kind of chilled out.
And then he came back with, well, I know that you had the conversation. And I told him in an email, with all due respect, sir, I have not had that conversation.
We've contemplated having these every Thursday night in lieu of the Friday morning show. What is kind of the feedback here? Should we decide to do that? Help me out in the in the live chat, the chat stream, if that's a good idea or not. Just a little brainchild that we have. Tom Mars wanted some information from us for a pending court case.
Yeah, a case that he can't win. No chance.
You don't think you'll win?
Hell no.
Do you know exactly what it's about?
Yes.
Oh, you do now?
Yes.
I mean, I know the people involved.
Yeah. It's a defamation suit.
Oh, it's defamation?
Yeah.
Oh, give me a break.
Yeah.
That's stupid.
Yeah, of course. It's idiotic.
Whoa. That guy thinks that other guy defamed him?
Yes. To the point that it cost him an opportunity at employment.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, that's what that's about.
Holy hell.
So he thinks that I had a conversation with somebody about something that would have, and I didn't.
No, Houston Nutt is not one of them.
No, not involving that.
Yeah, no, nothing to do with Nutt.
Nope.
Wow. I'm sorry. I know we're being jerks.
Yeah, that's what that is.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Any 4%ers out there? We haven't talked to any of you guys tonight. Zach, if you'd like to call in and talk recruiting, you can do that now too.
Zach's not a 4%.
In addition to the 4%, Zach could call in if he'd like.
And by the way, the 4% is more like 10%.
4% just rolls off the tongue better.
Yeah, but 10% makes me feel better.
You want a higher number?
Hell yeah, I want a higher number.
Anybody want to call? I'm not getting any calls right now.
Really? Wow.
Not unless I have a problem. There was a ton coming in all at once, and
It's Merlot, Luke. Should we read some ads?
Well, we're gonna put them in later. If you want to do it now, you
Well,
can.
I probably better do them now. I don't know how sober I'll be later. It's been a day. I'll do these quick.
Nothing to do with Nut. Nothing to do with Freeze.
All the people that are calling in on the Rafters Music and Food Hotline. Laura and I went to Rafters on Saturday afternoon. We watched the second half of Kentucky, Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went over to Ed's memorial service. You can get Sunday brunch at Rafters. $3 mimosas, $5 famous Bloody Marys. Brunch starts
Just hold one
at
second for a second call.
10:45. Corinth Dental. CorinthDental.com. 12 months, no interest, no down payment financing is available there at CorinthDental.com. Don't forget SplinterCreekMS.com. If you're moving to Oxford, if you're retiring to Oxford, you owe it to yourself to look at SplinterCreek.com. It's fantastic. 601-898-2772 to schedule a tour with Tom Smith Land and Homes today. Check out DeadSoxy.com, DeadSoxy.com. They have a socks that make an impact line with Bogle Alcove, helps young children in the Dallas area overcoming the lasting and traumatic effects of homelessness. You can use your promo code for everything except for the Vogel Alcove collaboration. It's deadsoxy.com, promo code Rebel Grove, and you'll save 30% off all orders there from Dead Soxy.
Who are we talking to?
Yeah, this is Joe. I'm calling from Chapel Hill, North Carolina tonight. How are y'all doing?
Go Heels.
Well, that's what they say normally, but they're not having a good year.
Are they not, they're not having a good year, are they?
Duke and Carolina lost to Clemson in the same week.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Dabo, baby.
Dogs and cats are living together out here now. But, I really want to ask a question around the role that Monty Kiffin is going to play. There's been a lot of speculation. I'm a longtime reader of Rebel Grove and great interest in the coaching staff. And my wife and I were in town in Oxford this past weekend, and we were in Boo Ray on Thursday night when Coach Durkin came in, and then was having dinner. Turned out to be with Coach Buckley, but Monty Kiffin came in, and I took a picture of him and sent him to my son, kind of as a joke because all the speculation. He ended up posting it, but I got a sense that Monty Kiffin was there more as an advisor than a proud son. But really not much talk about that. What are y'all hearing, if anything, about what his role will be, if it's formalized or it's just advisory role?
It's both. It's fairly formal and it's an advisory role. It's analyst, it's advising, it's just having a guy with a mind like that in the building is never a bad thing, and he floats around, does whatever knowledge can be departed and imparted. He does that.
Yeah, because he certainly, what I could catch of the conversation, at the risk of sounding kind of creepy when we were doing it, but it certainly sounded very professional conversation, kind of along the lines of a job interview, although that decision might have already been made at that point. But so it's more than the father, clearly, at least in that one episode.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
Yeah, he's in his 80s, so he's limited with how much he can move around physically. But I think mentally he's still really sharp, and he's around the program, and he's a resource. But that's probably the extent of it. I mean, he's not going to be the guy putting together the game plan.
No, sure, of course not. Well, I mean, I think we would much rather have him than not. Would be my opinion.
Well, no doubt about that.
Oh yeah, he's absolutely a free resource that's available to them at no cost.
And you'll run into a few kids come on campus and be pretty enamored with just him being in the building. It is aware of him.
Sure.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot more among young folks that I've talked to, a lot more name recognition than I would have ever given it credit for. And so, yeah, I think it's all good.
Appreciate the call. Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
I think that picture made rounds a lot. That picture got around a lot of places the other day.
Everybody tried to evaluate who it was.
Yeah, it was like, okay.
And it was like, hey, it's Terrell Buckley.
Yeah, it's true.
And they're like, no, it's Terrell Buckley.
Yeah, somebody asked me if it was Wesley McGriff. I said, no, it's not Wesley McGriff. Not. Who we got?
Hey, fellas, how we doing?
We're doing great. How are you? Who's this?
This is Zach.
Hey, Zach.
Barry.
Zach Barry.
Did you not realize that the first time, Neil?
I didn't. It's been
Neil is not doing really well at the moment.
It's been a day, man.
Said Zach Evans.
Yeah.
Well, that would help.
That would help. So how'd your visit go?
Well, the dance floor was really popping at the library, and
that's not what I heard. That's not what I heard that you did last night, Zach.
Well, at first the dance floor really wasn't popping, and then a couple recruiting riders got out there, and one thing led to another.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a tough afternoon here in Nashville.
I bet.
Okay, hold on a second. How did you feel when you had the big lead? Like, was there trepidation and going, hey, no way they hold this, or was there actually some confidence starting to bleed in?
There was a little bit of confidence. I thought when
I knew that shit was over.
There was a point in the game where I don't know what it was. Something happened to where they went away from Derrick Henry running the football. And I know the Chiefs were just kind of stacking the box and really bringing a lot of pressure. But I feel like the Titans kind of bailed early on the game plan and tried to put it in Tannehill's hands, and that didn't really bode well, obviously. And then, man, that one drive that the Chiefs had where Mahomes was just surgical and went all the way down the field, and it just felt like they couldn't cover anybody. And I don't know, it was pretty incredible to see an entire NFL game where an offensive line didn't get called for holding one time. And I mean, you got to tip your cap to Andy Reid and those guys. That was impressive. Tyreek Hill is really good on the football field. Outside of that, I can't speak to that, but yeah, he's a complete nightmare. I thought that they were going to try to bracket him, but obviously that was not successful. They tried a mixture of things with Adoree Jackson, Vaccaro, Byard, and it didn't work. But yeah, the Chiefs are good. It'll be fun because that 49ers defense is pretty incredible.
So how was sushi? More important things.
Sushi was good. I actually did not have any sushi. I just stuck with the chicken fried rice and had the chicken teriyaki.
Are you a sushi person or not, though?
I do like sushi.
Okay.
I have to be in the mood for it. There's certain things like ramen. I got to be in the mood for ramen or pho. But if I'm in the mood, I can put some down. But yeah, it was just your basic, spicy tuna, and I think they call it the Uber Cali, just like a crab with eel sauce type roll that my wife got. The edamame was really good. That's the hard-hitting stuff that people want to hear about.
That is fascinating.
Not sure if Kabuki's edamame stands up to Nashville's edamame, but
yeah, the only
good.
the only edamame I ate in town is the grilled or whatever from Jinsei.
Okay, I've still never been there.
Yeah,
I have a lot of local friends.
That's the place I get always pissed because they won't. Sometimes
highly.
they won't. Even if it's not full, they won't give you a 4-top table if it's only 2 people.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it drives me insane.
I've never been there.
Very hard line about that. Well,
hey,
because
Neil, I have a bone to pick with you about Neil's picks.
Okay.
You this week, Jeffrey last week.
I think that was a little cowardly that you didn't add the UFC fights into picks this week.
Well, he doesn't need extra picks, so he doesn't pick stupid stuff because he's winning.
Mathematically, I've won the damn thing. Why would I add anything that screwed up that math?
Well, make it fair for everybody else.
Come on.
So we can't do like all 18 horse races at Santa Ana next week?
Not this year.
Got to get the undercard for the dog track that
the greyhound races.
I'm in the afterglow of a victory.
Yeah, I think they're actually doing away with the greyhounds in Westminster.
I went 2-0 in the championship games this week.
That's probably why Mike Norvell
Parham went 0-2.
Well, I had no choice. I mean, it was already over.
Did y'all watch the McGregor-Cerrone fight?
No, it's not my thing.
I haven't watched one of those since I watched, I guess it was boxing. I watched Mayweather-McGregor with AK of all people back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That was an interesting night.
That was a fun fight.
So
McGregor actually did better than I thought he would.
I do want to watch Fury and Wilder in their rematch.
Oh, Wilder's just going to destroy him again.
Wilder's fun. Wilder's so fun.
He is.
I mean, had he come up in the 80s, I mean, he would be a global superstar.
He would. He would be absolutely one of the 2 or 3 biggest names in all of sports.
Yeah.
And instead he's like, eh.
Yeah.
But that punch power coming up in that era.
Yeah.
Because, dude.
Yeah, the
only thing that's derailed him at all is his own broken hand from hitting people too hard. He's broken his hand 2 or 3 times.
So last night we watched the first 2 episodes of the Aaron Hernandez documentary.
Okay.
Which is fascinating on multiple levels. And it was about 11:15 or so. We were like, all right, we're calling it a night. And so I was like, well, I got to get on Twitter and get the updates on the fight. So as soon as I brush my teeth, get ready to get in bed, I see Ariel Helwani, who's a UFC writer. He works for ESPN. He tweets, Conor McGregor wins TKO. And I thought, is this like a prediction? What's the deal? And then I'd get on Twitter and it's just, constant people, McGregor. And so obviously the fight ended in 40 seconds?
Yep, 40 seconds.
So yeah, I was pretty bummed about that because I like Cerrone and I was hoping, because I like McGregor too. And I was like, well, I just hope it's an entertaining fight and it'll be, good for the sport, blah, blah, blah. And man, he just, the shoulder strikes that he did. I talked to some buddies who are big UFC guys and they said they've never seen anybody do that in a fight. So once I saw the replay, that was pretty impressive that he was able to handle him. Because, Cerrone's a pretty experienced guy, and I thought he'd give him a little trouble because he hasn't fought in, 2.5 years or so?
I'll take your word for it.
And, yeah, that was impressive. But
was the sake flowing a little more tonight than most times, with Nashville being in a bit of a whatever?
Was the what flowing?
The sake, alcohol.
The sake. Yeah. Well, it was still a little early.
I guess it's true. It's only 9:30 now.
It was 2:00, so I was. We got over to some friends' house. So we had gone over to a friend's house the last 2 weeks. So we went for the wild card and went for the divisional round. And so we were like, well, we got to go back for superstitious purposes. And got over there. They had some coffee made, so I threw some bourbon and some coffee, put some Woodford and some coffee, and then moved on to some red wine. So we had the red wine was flowing, and that was kind of our thing the last couple of weeks.
So any recruiting prediction or chick or anything before we let you go?
Neil's pretty much covered it. We're kind of hearing the same things on a lot of stuff. I will say the Marcus Henderson thing should be fascinating to follow. Neil spoke with him today. I posted what I thought on the board. I do think Ole Miss, I'm not close to putting in a future cast, but I think Ole Miss can sign him. I don't know if Georgia is going to have room or really want him, because they have, I think I counted 8 offensive line and defensive line commits right now. And I'm not sure where they're recruiting him. Because even when Matt Luke was on staff at Ole Miss, they were recruiting him as D-line, but he's an offensive line coach now. He's not just a head coach. So I don't know if he decides that or not, but I think so. Talking to sources close to Henderson and people in Memphis, they think that his parents really like Ole Miss. They like him being close to home. And I think Marcus likes Ole Miss. I think it's just kind of one of those, he's kind of doing his due diligence and taking some visits. I do think Ole Miss will end up signing him. And I actually think he'll be a good defensive line. I think he's a good prospect there. I think he can be a good player there. He's athletic. He's pretty, from what I've seen on tape, he's pretty violent on defense. He's a little, he kind of doesn't have to do much on the offensive side and that level of football. And Jeffrey does every game they have, and he pretty much dominates anybody he faces as an offensive lineman. But I think defensively he could be a pretty good prospect because he's big, he's athletic, he can move, and I think he could project well there. But outside of that, I think Ole Miss sits in a good spot for Clowney. And then the Zach Evans thing continues to progress each hour. We'll see what they're going to do. I know that there's some coaches in Houston, and they're going to continue to kick the tires on that. But as Neal has alluded to, I think he's kind of figuring out that he's got to decide pretty soon. So he can't really string this along any farther than, 2 weeks? So.
Have you heard anything about Freddie Roach to Alabama?
I have not.
Because as we're having this conversation, that's the conversation I'm having on text with people in Tuscaloosa.
Oh. I have not heard that. At this point, anything is possible. He's been retained at Ole Miss.
Yeah, I was only told it's real.
The New York Giants. All right.
Yeah.
He did play there.
I'm talking to someone in Tuscaloosa who's not sure.
Okay. So turning this around on y'all, if he were to go to Alabama, do you know any names that would be out there to replace him?
I don't know which direction they would go.
If that happens, I mean, that has to just emphatically close the door on McKinley Jackson, because I think with Roach still in Oxford, there's still a shot.
By the way, from a timeliness standpoint, for the people listening on the podcast in the morning, this is 9:29 p.m. on Sunday night.
That's a good point.
So if we start doing these things on Thursday night, can we just send you to a random store at like 8:15 every Thursday night?
Yeah, that could work.
Is that
we
doable?
got plenty of options over here.
Kroger's and Targets and dives. That's cool too. Sure.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's plenty of dive bars over here on the east side. I can go in there and strike out with like 20 people on random college football questions. But you never know. There's some SEC flavor over here.
We might could have used the sushi restaurant earlier. But I mean, people were eating dinner, a little different vibe to interrupt them.
We could include that as a part of the Thursday night podcast. Dinner with the hand raise guys.
Keep up.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm on the phone working on stories. I'm working here.
I am too. Yeah. I just text from my computer.
Okay. Well, I'm texting from my phone.
Why? So. You have your computer in front of you.
Yeah, but this is easy.
Chase, you're a big iMessage on the laptop guy?
Yeah, I am. Uh-huh.
Yeah, see, I do that too.
Yeah, why wouldn't you? I can type faster than I can do it.
Exactly. Yeah. You don't utilize the swipe text on the new iPhone?
I don't have the newest iPhone.
What's the new iPhone?
Actually,
iPhone 11 or 12?
Us 4%ers have the new iPhone.
I have a 10, I think. I think
I
have a 10.
I had an 8 for a long time, and I went ahead and splurged and got the whatever the big 11 is with all the portrait mode and all that.
Yeah.
Because when you have a kid, you got to get the portrait mode for every single picture.
Yeah.
So
that'll pass.
All right. So
you'll get past
it. Last thing, I'm flying tomorrow to El Paso. Do you have any tips on El Paso? And then if I should download anything for the flight, what should I download in terms of Netflix?
Go see the Sun Bowl. It'd be awesome.
Great strip clubs there on the other side of the border is the Rimmer. I've never been.
Over there in Chihuahua. I did sneak into the Sun Bowl last time I was there. Security there is not great.
I bet not.
You can just squeeze through a fence.
Who plays there during the year? Just all the high schools?
There's a UTEP.
And UTEP?
I mean,
I don't know. I'm
UTEP's
asking.
There.
Yeah.
It's a college town, so UTEP plays there.
Yeah, I bet it's a college town.
Yeah, well, I need something to watch because we're finishing up the Aaron Hernandez thing, and I was gonna watch that.
I tell you what's actually really good on ESPN Plus is the Peyton Manning series with all the football stuff. You being a football guy would love it.
So that's worth it.
It's really good. I've enjoyed it.
Okay. I'm drawing a complete blank now. What's the guy's name who did NASCAR and now he does football and his accent is just ridiculous? He's an ESPN
Marty
guy.
Smith.
Is he involved in it at all?
I've not seen him on Peyton Manning's thing at all.
Okay, good. I can deal with it then. I can't deal with Marty Smith. It's too much. Is that mean? Does that make me a bad Southerner if I can't deal with Marty Smith?
No, I'm kind of with you. I'm told my friend Taylor Zarzer is very good friends with Marty, and he swears that Marty is a phenomenal guy, but I have a hard time watching him.
Yeah, I'm sure he is. He churches it up a little bit, though.
I will tell you this, at 9:33, I'm talking to someone in Tuscaloosa who says, I literally just got word that they were going to get Freddie.
Oh. Well, there are going to be some folks on the beat that are going to be devastated.
This is true.
Well, all right. So I'll tell you all this. The one thing I did download that I am interested in watching is The Spy. It's a Netflix documentary that actually stars Sacha Baron Cohen.
Okay.
And it is based on actual events of Eli Cohen, who was a Israeli spy who infiltrated the Syrian government in the 60s. So I got at least 3 episodes downloaded, so I'll report back.
Yeah, report back on that one, and then we'll potentially try to grab you on Thursday so we get this thing moving.
All right, guys.
All right, enjoy it.
Y'all have a good one.
Yeah. We actually did have some calls coming in. I was just talking to Zach, hanging out, letting Neil text on his phone.
I'm working on it.
I'm
doing what I do, texting people.
That is a big part of the job these days. Just texting folks over and over and over and over and over again.
What I'm hearing is that Alabama wanted to hire Bo Davis, and the SEC said no.
Really? So they wanted.
The SEC told Alabama no. Bo Davis had a problem at Alabama, and
it got cleaned up.
It kind of did, but the SEC didn't forget it. And so the word is that Freddie Roach is choice number 2, and that he has taken the job.
Oh, he's already taken it.
As we record this at 9:35 on Sunday night, I think Freddie Roach is headed to Alabama.
Okay. Who else is on the line here?
Wilson.
What's up, Wilson?
Yeah. First off, Neil, what do you think is going to happen with Chris Bryant?
My guess is that he will lose his grievance, and that the Cubs will trade him to Atlanta.
Okay, that's not terrible. So if Freddie goes to Alabama, McKinley's out.
That would be the hunch. Yes.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you.
Oh, thanks.
It's right to the bottom line.
Hey, I'm all for brevity and efficiency. Sounds like we'll probably have some news here for the board with the Roach stuff fairly soon. Just a hunch.
That's my guess.
The way the tea leaves are moving.
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
I'll take this one. Who we got, caller?
Cole.
Cole, how are you?
Doing well. How are you guys?
Oh, hanging in.
Hey, Megan's got tons of bachelor questions, and
Okay.
she's really mad at me looking at me. She's like, all these people are going to hate me calling it about the Bachelor, but
I won't hate.
Hey, I had a question before I turn it over to her. How much better? No. Can we ask your Bachelor questions?
Hey, y'all, I've got your parents.
Hey, Megan. Yeah, we'll talk Bachelor. Sure.
Yeah, she's gonna run parent real quick and then develop her questions and call back in.
Okay.
Hey,
She's gonna have to hurry. We don't have a lot of time left, Cole.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to push her.
Okay. How much easier or harder is recruiting coverage with text now that you don't have to like call someone? Like you can like text iPhones and all that.
You're much easier to get a response, but you get much less substance.
Yeah.
So
You
if you just need a nugget, then you got a shot.
Yeah,
But
you get one-word answers. Even to questions that aren't yes/no questions, you get one-word answers.
sometimes spelled correctly.
Yeah, like yo or ite or word, WURD, which is hard to sort of interpret sometimes.
And then sometimes you get yuh, which is YUH, and I'm
Yeah.
never really sure exactly what that one is, but I think it's yes.
I don't know what that means.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, she actually did have to run off the parent because her girls are, I think, putting each other through torture chambers right now. But who's your favorite on The Bachelor, Neil?
I think it's down to the Hannah Ann and
That's the one from Knoxville.
Yeah, and the girl from Auburn, Madison.
Yeah, I kind of like that girl. She's all right.
I think
I can see how a
Madison's.
single guy would find her attractive.
Yeah, yeah, but I think Madison's lack of experience is going to become an issue.
Yeah, that's fair.
Hey,
All right, guys.
hey, Cole, it looks like in a week or so we're going to get some temps in the 60s.
Yeah, well, it's going to be 20 this week. So,
I know, but next week.
But 60s. Yeah. Cover
Okay.
Tupelo.
All right. Yeah,
Let's
sounds
play.
good. All right.
All right, guys.
All right.
Have a good one.
Enjoyed it. Let's see. What?
The people that push back on The Bachelor. Come on.
Are we getting pushback?
Yeah, a little bit. You got to let go. It's a good show.
So those are the two that you're handicapping that have a chance to win this thing?
It's my opinion.
Well, that's as good as anything.
I mean, I sort of know how this thing works.
Okay.
I have a feeling based on the teaser that nobody, quote, wins this thing and that everybody just becomes.
So he doesn't find love?
No, everybody just becomes a TV star.
He doesn't find love?
No, no love.
No Trista and Ryan situation
I
in this
don't
one?
think so. I think as we go along, most people don't want to, quote, find love, end quote, because that's overrated as hell. They want to become a superstar.
You might like it because you're so into this thing. I listened to a golf podcast that Chris Harrison was a guest on last week.
Okay.
It was.
Is he a big golfer?
Yeah, he's a big golf guy.
Okay.
I mean, they discussed a lot of stuff like what golfer would be the best on The Bachelor and stuff like that. But then there was also some other stuff that you would probably be interested in if you if you listen to it.
All right.
It was the Clubhouse with Shane Bacon is what he was on. So
okay.
Yeah, just a little heads up there. I'll probably cut there. Appreciate it, guys. We're probably going to have to get to work a little bit, and also this show is pretty long for our normal podcast. We're an hour and a half or so. So I think we are. I think we're gonna. I don't know when. Not saying it's this week, but we'll get to some Thursdays where we'll do these episodes with you at night. Those will be in lieu of the Friday podcast whenever that does start. So rebelgrove.com. A lot of recruiting. Basketball, baseball picking up here pretty soon as well. They've got the first inter-squads this coming weekend. I posted a couple notes about John Rice Plumlee and Jerry and Ely tonight. And a lot there at rebelgrove.com. That's always the same price. So take advantage of that. Sign up and then hang out with us here on the podcast. So as always, guys, appreciate it. And we'll talk to you again in a couple days.